to her and seeing her a little bit later. And now from Friday we should all be able to get hold of free rapid testing kits to be used twice a week regardless of COVID symptoms. Let's talk about that, lots of other things as well. We can speak to Dr. Nigat Arif. Lovely to see you. Thanks so much for joining us as ever. From Friday we know that everybody will be able to get these lateral flow tests. For people who are unfamiliar with them, what do they look like? How do they use them?
So firstly, I'm really pleased that they are announcing this, because if everybody remembers, back in February, the World Health Organization said test, test, test. And this is one of the tools that we need in order to get out of lockdown. And as doctors, we've been doing them. So I get a box like this, and twice a week I do my lateral flow test. I can actually quickly demonstrate it to you. It's so simple. You get a little pipette like this with some solution. You take your solution, and we as doctors, we use the kit that I've got. Every kit is going to be slightly different. You should be able to pick them up from your testing centres, pharmacy, because we want people to get back to work. So we put about 10 drops in there, and that is your solution ready. And then we get a little swab as well. And with the swab, the one that I've got in my kit, I have to put it in my mouth and then up my nose. And you have to get quite deep because you're trying to get to the nasopharynx area. Now, when you get your test, every test is slightly different. Some might just be the nose, some might just be the mouth. So have a look at the directions that you're getting. So you just put it into your mouth at the back. So it's not very nice.
Well,
and then it goes...
Do you know, I'm watching so closely because we do them at work, and every time I do them, that's what happens to me. So that's perfectly normal to wince a bit.
And so you sort of go up the nose, and you sort of really have to get quite deep, and then it makes you sort of eyes water. You pop it in there, and you allow it to sort of allow all the solution to catch all those cells that you've managed to pick up.
Yeah.
And then that gets disposed of. The little pipette goes on here, and you get a little casket as well, and it takes 30 minutes for the results to come back. The fantastic thing is that you can get your results and then know that you're okay, because 1 in 3 people will have COVID-19 and have no symptoms. That's the most important thing. So you get a little casket like this.
Yes.
And where it says sample, you put your sample on there, and then I'm going to leave that to the side for 30 minutes. And it's as simple as that. And that's it. That's your test done to make sure that you're safe or not. Because as well as getting your vaccine, keeping your face covered, washing your hands, this is one of the measures, because if we can pick up early hotspots of where people are getting positive tests, you then call 111 or go to your local testing centre and get a PCR test, because we know that people need to go back to work. We cannot stay in this lockdown forever, and this is one way of doing it. And as doctors, we've been doing this since January, twice a week, and this is what the general public are doing. School kids, teachers, you, Louise, you guys at the BBC, you already know how you're doing this, because this is exactly what we're trying to do, trying to get some sense of normality and picking up COVID even before you have the symptoms.
And what's interesting seeing about you do it live on Breakfast is that, you know, it is quite simple, isn't it? Everybody can probably manage this.
Yeah, it's really simple and it's not scary. Like I said earlier, if you need it for work, you should be able to order them online through the NHS website. You should be able to go to your local pharmacy. There are certain pharmacies got contracts to supply the rapid flow tests as well, and local centres as well. But this doesn't replace all the other behaviours that shouldn't change either, because we know that we should still be wearing face covering. So as the government are easing the lockdown rules and more information is coming through, we need to keep a handle on this virus. And if anybody's getting called up for their vaccine as well, also please go for your vaccine, because we're doing really well on that front at the minute.
You say you're doing really well. You've got a special rosette, haven't you? You've had your second vaccine. Tell us about this.
I got my second vaccine. I'm very happy. I got it at Stoke Mandeville Stadium on the weekend, and this rosette I got it because I was the 30,000th person that they vaccinated. So let me just put this into perspective. This is the size. Oh yeah, there's a little video of me actually getting the rosette. Watch it.
And you just couldn't make it up that somebody goes past in their wheelchair just at that moment.
Yeah, I have to set the scene for this, because I was the 30,000th person at Stoke Mandeville Stadium. This is a Paralympic stadium, for those who know, and it's been set up especially converted almost overnight by the brilliant Commander Dean Elliott and Dr. Sajid Zaid, who set up this vaccination centre, and they've vaccinated 30,000 people, and which is almost like the size of a village. This is the phenomenal work that they've done through volunteers. And when I got there, I was like, I'm going to get my rosette. It's a historic moment. I'm definitely going to make sure that I film it. And this gentleman had places to be, okay?
Which is totally fair enough. I mean, you know, and also they need to get people through these centres quickly, don't they? So, yep.
They do.
Let's just also talk about, for example, we know that rules are changing at the moment quite a lot, aren't they? And you keep saying, you've said it in this interview, that it's still important to stick by rules.
Yeah, please do, because we know that we can't go. If I'm honest, I don't think we could survive a fourth lockdown because everybody's got COVID fatigue. If we look at our friends in Europe, they are going into their fourth lockdown. They've got their third wave. And if we look around the world as well, and this is a global pandemic, and we know that mutations are happening. Mutations only happen if we don't get a control on the virus. And if we don't get a control on the virus, it means that people are infected and hospitalization increases. And that means pressure on our precious NHS. So in order to keep that down, we've got to be able to stick to the rules. Now, as we're coming out of lockdown, when some of the countries around the world are going into lockdown, but we are actually heading on the right way, in order to keep that, you know, on the roadmap, is to make sure that you get your vaccine when you're offered. Ramadan is coming up, so I implore my Muslim community to please keep going. It doesn't break your fast when you have the vaccine as well. And also consult with your scholars. We're doing a lot of work on that in regards to getting the confidence in communities and mosques as well. We know that we're going to go down into the younger population where there is some hesitancy. Again, we're doing some work around that to reassure people. I've had my second dose of vaccine. Apart from a little bit of a sore arm, I'm absolutely fine. But the other measures of washing hands, physical distancing, face coverings, that is going to stay in order to make sure that we don't go into another lockdown, because I think that we're tired as doctors. We are also feeling it as well. The country is tired, but I know that if we keep up, we are in a resilient nation. And with all these measures in place, I'm really hopeful we shouldn't be going into a fourth lockdown.
Just quickly on that, you know, being under pressure, the Society for Acute Medicine say they're seeing some of their busiest at times in months at hospitals. You know, are you worried by that, or encouraged that people are feeling able they can go to hospital?
So the other thing, exactly, I'm really pleased that people feel that they can, because we have PPE. We're able to see you carefully and safely. If you need to see a doctor, GP practices are still open, and make sure that you please book an appointment. Please do not delay any symptoms that are worrying at all, or something that doesn't feel right to you, because we have all the checks and measures in place. But also, use the services wisely. There's 111 that you can always tap into first. There's NHS online. You can look at your symptoms. And it's really important that your mental health is particularly kept in check as well. So keep talking. There's the One New app. There's the IAP services that you can refer into, and brilliant charities like Samaritan and Mind, who are doing so much work, because we need to be able to tackle all that mental health that we're seeing, and we are seeing a lot of it. But I'm really hopeful that I think that we are heading the right way, which I say that with a huge smile on my face, but I do feel that as the weather gets better, we're into summer, we should be able to have some of our freedoms back, get a haircut, go to a restaurant, have a coffee with a friend, go to a park, all those things that we absolutely missed.
I think we've each got our own individual list, haven't we, of things we'd like to do. Nigat, thank you very much. Yeah. Lovely to see you. See you soon.
Bye.
Haircut, top of the list, undoubtedly, next Monday, 9 o'clock.